All right. Welcome to Smokey Reacts. I'm a journalist, and on this one, we are going to be checking out Amelia. I just did a long ass intro and then I deleted it. It was like 4 minutes almost. It's like, Jesus, it's not a. You can't do a 4 minute video on one of these. I don't think. I don't think anybody's trying to hear me do that. So, yeah, we're going to keep it nice and short. Yeah, I know who she is from the chicken shop stuff. I heard the other stuff, so I kind of wanted to see what her perspective of what her come up was. So I believe it's Lad Bible is how you call this place. So yeah, they interviewed her. Check it out. Could please hit that like and subscribe. If there's other content of her or them you want me to look at, I for sure will. I've already seen the crazy dude who's been shot and everything, who talks to the other older gentleman who's also a super criminal. Like I've seen that one, so that guy's crazy. I'm like I don't need to see that one again. But yeah, let's go.
DM'd a rapper that I want to get on the show, and he literally replied in 5 minutes was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I was just like, oh, "Okay, this cool, this is good."
Who else are you keen to book?
I'm keen to book
Journalist.
Drake, so fingers crossed.
Yeah, that's that for Dimmelberger, whatever that is. I was like, that's a crazy last name.
How would you describe yourself as a teenager?
As a teenager, in primary school, when I was younger, I was quite popular in primary school. And then as soon as I became a teenager and went to secondary school, I wasn't popular at all. And I was just involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. So I was the library assistant in the library, which meant I would like return books in break and lunch, which maybe is why I didn't have that many friends. Now I'm thinking about it. I was also quite awkward, I think, as a teenager. I had braces and glasses, which, is never that great a look. And I was also quite small, like smaller than I am now. So it wasn't the best. I always had ambitions to be a performer, but I can't really pinpoint exactly what type of performer I wanted to be. I think maybe at the beginning it was more of like a presenter because growing up, watching TV present.
I probably should have kept my long ass intro because I even covered fucking how she probably wanted to be a presenter and like came up with a platform to give herself the opportunity to be able to present or do something so then she could do other shit because that's kind of that's the way we have to do it now, which is fucking terrible, especially if you're fucking an idealistic purist. Then it's just like, oh, it's like fucking pulling teeth.
Presenters were like huge, and that was mainly how I thought I could like be on television if I was a presenter. I also feel like I wanted to be an actress at some point. I was really obsessed with Skins, and I wanted to be in
Skins is a good show.
Which I probably would not have been cast in Skins, considering I spent all my time in the library.
Your accent would have definitely not been able to put you on Skins. Too much
I went
perceived
to university
pronunciation.
to St. Martin's to study fashion journalism.
or received
because
pronunciation.
Another ambition of mine was I always wanted to be editor of Vogue. And so basically, I used to, wanted to be editor of Vogue. That was like how I would introduce
Not with that outfit.
myself
That's
a
not
lot,
happening.
Like, hi, Amelia, and I'm going to be editor of Vogue. And so my mum told me, okay, well, if you want to be editor of Vogue, you have to go to Central St. Martin's because that's where
You gotta know how to dress a
all
little
the
bit
big
better.
fashion
Fuck going wherever.
designers and just people within the industry have gone. So I set.
Let me ask y'all. Y'all know her more than I do. Does she even know how to dress? I'm not saying you can't have this ambition. We are not just focused on the does she know how to dress portion. Because anybody shit, if a fucking kid doesn't know how to dress, perfectly fine. You can still have the same ambition. I'm just curious. Like, because even Anna Winter, she fucking, like, not all her outfits look nice to me, but I'd be like, I'm not mad at that. I kind of get it.
Set my mind on it from a very young age that I was going to go to Central St. Martin's.
Did you like university? Did you enjoy it?
I
It
liked
was
the
alright.
first 2 years because going to St. Martin's, like everyone there is just, hyper creative, like the most creative people you'll probably ever meet. And everyone was just
Niggas run the
came in
radio.
wearing the most insane outfits like that they'd made, or you just never
I
knew
don't
what
know
you were
that.
going to see. And so much of the courses was all about collaboration, so we'd be collaborating with the fashion designers, the architect students, like the graphic designers. Everyone was in this big building in King's Cross, so it really was fantastic. And yeah, everyone there's talking about ideas rather than, you know, people, and I loved that about it. So I'm really happy I went to like a creative university. But my tutors didn't really get me. No, they didn't really get me, but they didn't really get what I was doing. So when I was already doing Chicken Shop Day at the time when I was at university, I did the first episode when I was in my first year at uni, and I think like they just didn't really understand it. I mean, fair enough, it wasn't anything to do with fashion, Chicken Shop Day, but I also was always trying to make content in my fashion studies, so like fashion content or like video interviews or like funny, quirky things, and I don't really think they understood it really. So I often came into sort of clashes with my tutors, and I ended up really hating my third year.
That quirky statement explains that sweater. Now I understand her fashion sense a lot better. She likes the eclectic nature of fashion and its freedom. I get it. Maybe I don't particularly like her fashion sense for what she dresses, but she might be able to pick some shit. I get it now. I get it. I get it.
Because my tutors really didn't like my final project, which was starting a YouTube channel. They said, you know what they said? They said that they all wanted everyone to make magazines. And they were like, everyone in the class had to make a magazine. And I was like, guys, I kind of think that like maybe print is going down, and like maybe we should be doing video as instead. And they were like, what are you talking about? Absolutely not. My IT teacher really liked me because I was a scholar, and sent me an email saying, oh, also he knew that I wanted to be editor of Vogue, so he sent me an email saying there's this magazine that's run out of a youth club in Royal Oak in northwest London, where I'm from. They're looking for new like contributors. You should go. And I was like, this is perfect. Like, I've always wanted to write for a magazine. This is amazing. So me and my friend from my class, Cleo, went on Wednesday evening after school, and that changed my life. And I owe everything to becoming part of that magazine. It was called The Cut, and everyone
know The
there
Cut.
was just into all different types of music and different parts of culture that I never knew, and especially
I wasn't nice
UK
at that
rap
time.
and grime. I was so
Yeah, I was trash that time. Like I've submitted my music to some of like Wordplay magazine, The Cut. Like I've been submitting time. Like I was trash at that time though. So like I get why I didn't get the response, but I've been like I said, I've been knocking at the door for a long time.
obviously inspired by Pop World and their really irreverent interviews that they did, where they would just take pop stars and put them in completely different situations, and it was so fun and had so much energy. And I was so bored of seeing the same interviews with musicians that were just talking about their musical influences and just serious things. I guess it just seemed quite
It actually makes me
tame
understand
at
the show
time.
better.
So yeah, I thought a date would be a great way to do an interview, and then someone said, oh, you should go on a date where you would never actually go on a date. So then I said Chicken Shop. So that's how it started. And yeah, it was a column in that magazine for like 3 years. So I would write up the interviews, and my friend would take photos. And then when I was in my first year at uni, after I'd done maybe like 10 interviews with the column, decided it would be even better if it was filmed. So just made my YouTube channel.
Smart move. Smart move.
So the first film.
See, now this is the context that when I first got introduced to who Amelia was, it was through ZZ talking about her particular issues with Chicken Shop Day, and as a Black American, I got her argument. However, now that I understand how you guys view shit, I get why she came off as a hater, because you guys were like, you're gonna have to give us a little bit more than just, oh, she's a white girl in a chicken shop. Like, we need more. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I get it now. But, like, hearing this context from Amelia on why she's done the show, she was already doing this shit fucking in print and fucking writing out a goddamn interview that she had at the chicken shop. So I'm like, okay, she's been doing this for time. And then just seen the opportunity in the future and struck when the iron was hot. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a finesse. I'm not saying I was mad before, but like I'm like I even more so get the reason why maybe there was such backlash, because maybe there are a lot of people that did know her come up at the time that were like, yo, this bird's out of line. What are you doing coming for her? She's just yeah, maybe she is capitalizing on the situation, but it's like, the fuck? If she's not gonna do it, somebody else is. And maybe if she's a genuine fan, because shit, she was pulling out lyrics on that nigga D Double on the date. So it seems like she truly does care about the scene, at least from a listener's perspective, and that's really all I care about. Did she actually care about the music and the people she's sitting down with, or was she just taking advantage of the opportunity to be able to get to sit down with them? Seems like she actually cared about the fucking people and understood she was making an opportunity for herself. I can't be mad at a person for doing that. I don't give a fuck how I look. If that's the sense, I can only give a motherfucker their word. It's just what it is. But yeah, that's dope though. That's dope. I like that.
The episode of Chicken Short 8 was with Getz, and yeah, I still can't believe that he was the first episode because such a brilliant person to get.
Do you like pets? Gets.
I like cats. I like cats. You know, the truth is, a lot of people,
That's crazy.
they laugh when I say that I like cats. Cats fascinate me. They're very smart. Very smart. You know, like sometimes you'll just be, you can be in a house alone and the cat will be looking at something that you can't see. And that fascinates me.
Yeah, they also jump really high.
He was just like the perfect person. He was just so up for it, and such a great bubbly personality, and also so just naturally funny that I just hit gold, really. Struck gold with that one.
Oh, were you a bit nervous to go in front of the camera?
Was I nervous? Well, the thing is, because I'd done a lot of the column already, and I was in character then, I developed my character through the written column, and I always felt like
I know you guys said it's character, but I'm really happy to know like it's truly character. Like probably bits and pieces of the character are actually her, but just like, man, like if there's somebody really living life like that, I'm just like, oh, it's gonna be a tough day for you. It's gonna be long. It's long.
I was performing even when there weren't any cameras there. So I wasn't as nervous as I could have been. I was just nervous because I also produced the content myself. So with my friend Marvin, who also is from the magazine, I found the shop, booked the crew, like not knowing what I'm doing. I've never produced a shoot before. I was 20 and like just scrambling around making sure everything was going right. So I think I was just really concentrating on the production of it, making sure that even that Getz showed up. He was actually early, but I was worried he wouldn't turn up. And then, you know, the chicken shop owner that was in a chicken cottage, we didn't tell him that we needed to actually shut the shop. So he assumed that he could still serve his customers. But the shop was so small that when the camera crew was in there, no one could get in. So there was a line of people outside the chicken shop just like looking in, and he was fuming that he couldn't serve anyone.
So where did the character come from? Where's the kind of prickly, slightly awkward character coming from?
The character's kind of just an exaggeration of my own personality. I think growing up, I was a lot more awkward than I am now, and deadpan. And people would always say that I was a bit cold, but I just think that they're just reading me wrong. I just think I have a face where I look like I'm in a bad mood, but I'm not. Like, my face just, I think I have a downturned smile or something. I don't know what it is, but I always look like I'm unimpressed. People
Round,
often
angular
are like, "Are you
features."
okay?" I'm like, yes, I'm fine. The first episode that blew up was probably the Tribuddy G one because it was put on Lad
The
Bible.
UKIP
actually.
nightmare, bitch. What you
Yeah,
talking
it was put on
about?
Lad Bible and it blew up. So yeah, thanks Lad Bible for that.
What are your best chat-up lines?
Oh, best chat up lines. You want to make some beige little fuckers together and live a UKIP nightmare. Alright, buddy.
It's been such a gradual like growth of the success of it that I don't think there's ever been a moment where I'm like, whoa, I've made it, or like, wow, it's huge, because it's been really steady. But I wouldn't have had it any other way, because I think that it just makes it even better that it's grown over time, and I've built like a following over time rather than just all of a sudden, because I think going viral and getting like a mad amount of people looking at your content and
That's why I appreciate every one of you, because I truly do understand that as a person who works in entertainment, like the people that blow up fast have a hard time sustaining that because the people that fuck with them are not people that can uphold you or that actually fuck with you. They like the thing you did. They don't fuck with you. You didn't understand that. You gave them a thing. Things get old quickly. People that fuck with you over time and you build some shit that is sustainable and you actually are a person that people can fuck with, that's the shit people fucking like. So you should just be chill. That's it. Keep it 100. You ain't got to do too much. Especially if you got money to spend. Like, oh my God, you can make this shit work. That's why, like, Mr. Beast, he killing it. Killing it. Can't you, man. Man. But yeah, that's so I'm like, hey, shout out to her. She get it. She get it. I like this. I'm actually glad I started to watch this. I'm actually glad.
subscribing and whatever when you're starting out can actually hinder you or can, I think, be quite daunting, because then there's so much pressure and expectation when you are still finding yourself and figuring your content out and what you're doing.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck about that part. Only reason I don't give a fuck about that part is because you asked for it. That's the shit I don't like about when people talk about fame or entertainment. Nobody came to your house. Nobody fucking ran you down and put cameras in your face. You put yourself out in public and you knew what the potential possibilities of this shit are. Everything that anybody does has the potential to go from 0 to 100 over fucking night. If you were deciding to play in the game. So this whole, oh, like, I'm still trying to find myself, that's fine. But you gotta own I'm still trying to find myself, but I decided to be famous. And then I became famous fucking overnight or some shit. That shit fucking happens. I just really don't like this shit because there's so much history before people decided to get famous. And then, like, the ability, the internet, and, like, just, there's so much information. Like, for you to still be so naive to the system or certain parts of it or the thing that you're asking for, like the relinquishment of anonymity, is like, what are you doing? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, I don't know. I guess I've just thought about it too much.
And what has been your favourite episode?
My favourite episode, maybe the Big Nasty episode is my favourite episode because I was trying to get Big Nasty on the show for so long. I remember being at Sonar Festival in Spain and, like, having these phone conversations with someone loosely connected to him. This was like 5 years ago, telling me that maybe they could get me a date with Big Nasty, and I was like leaving the festival to do these calls with all my friends thinking, oh my god, we're gonna get Big Nasty on, it's gonna be like the second episode, it's gonna be incredible. And that never happened until like 2 years later. Finally we got him on, and it was just a big deal, I think, because also the fans really wanted him on the show too, and he was so great, and he was just the perfect guest.
Why are you called Big Nasty if you're so fun and cuddly and cute?
Those names got a meaning behind it.
What does it stand for?
Natural, artistic, respected, sexy, talented, independent, and educated.
The bigger the show gets,
Snap. This is snap. That nigga's a goddamn fool.
the bigger the expectation to get a bigger artist is, and big artists are always going to be hard to get. Like, no matter how successful a platform you have, even people like Graham Norton will find it hard to book certain guests. So I think that's always just going to be difficult. But definitely
Not the
it's gotta
OG
be
Graham.
easier. Like the other day, I DM'd a rapper that I want to get on the show, and he literally replied in 5 minutes and was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." And I was just like, "Okay, this cool. This is good."
Who else are you keen to book?
I'm keen to book Drake. So, fingers crossed.
In your private life, in your dating life? Has
Wait, what
anyone
the
ever
fuck
tried
that
to
shit
take-
say at the bottom?
In your private life, in your dating life, has anyone ever tried to take you actually on a chicken chop date?
No. Nobody
Boy.
has asked me out on a second date. No, that's never happened. I know, shocking. shocking. But no, it's actually quite awkward sometimes. Well, I've got less awkward, but when I used to film, when I started filming, I wouldn't talk to the guest before. Because I don't know, I was quite method. I don't know why. There's no need really. So I wouldn't talk to them before, and then as soon as the cameras stopped filming, I was like, okay, thank you, bye.
And what's your favourite thing about making the show?
I love like getting excited about who I'm gonna have on next. I love writing the questions, trying to ask people something that they've never been asked before. The whole point of Chicken Shop Date is to get a different side, show a different side to that person's personality, make something entertaining that is unique that they won't have seen before, and I think that's why people like watching the show.
I have to commend her because she did and does exactly that. At least when I watched it, especially the D double episode, because in the D double episode, for me, everything I've seen from him, it's a wild ass nigga going crazy. He is the like energy incarnate. So then to see him in the Chicken Shop Date and be so calm and cool and just chilling, I'm like, damn. And I thought that was the old nigga in the scene getting tolerated. Terrible. Shame on me. God damn it. But she really does that because now she said it, I'm just like, damn, she really did show me that side of him that I was just like, beforehand, it didn't even connect. I did the goddamn episode already. It's on the channel.
Too. And then I love being in the edit. I love editing. I don't edit myself, but I sit in on the edit. And
Oh my
I love
God.
putting everything together. And
I
like,
know the
puzzle
editor might
pieces of what
hate
it's gonna
that
be
shit.
like, because a lot of the show, the awkwardness and my character is actually made in the edit, rather than when we actually film live.
What advice would you give to aspiring content creators who want to follow in your footsteps?
My advice would be just to be persistent, I think is the best advice I could give. Just carry on emailing, carry on like nudging people, carry on making your own content because people were going to have to listen, and that's kind of what I've done. Also, I believe that if you think that your idea is good, then that's all you need really, because you just need that belief to carry you through to carry on making things. So yeah, that would be my advice. Also, I guess find your niche. I feel like find something that is a bit different. I guess like it's the worst advice ever. Like think of an original idea, do that. But really, yeah, I think that everything I've done is kind of looking at how I can spoof something that already exists, like how I can take something that I've seen already, but just add my own twist to it, which is essentially what I've done with a dating show, which is what Chicken Shop Date is, and a music interview format. Just spinning it a bit. You don't have to think of something from thin air. So no one ever does that. Everything is referencing something else. So I think don't try and, go and wind yourself up by trying to think of something original, because nothing is original, really.
Dimoldenberg? Maybe it's Dimoldenberg. Yeah. That sounds fancier too. It's Dimoldenberg. If I ever knew how to read something before in my life, it's Dimoldenberg. The Moldenberg, maybe? Nah. But yeah, no, this was actually really good. Shout out to Lab Bible. I actually appreciate watching it. It, to me, gives me a more rounded picture of other information I had prior, and then also gives me more information on the show, and then this person as well, because I'm just like, man, like, why is she doing this shit? Man, it makes total sense now. That's what's up. That's what's up, man. Shout out to her. More success. But yeah, that's going to be it for me on this one. Thank you for watching this. I do appreciate it. I'll see you guys on the next one. I'm out of here.